I've been tasked with the fun activity of revisiting the day, and I've had a great time listening to the provocative and passionate discussion that we've had today. So these are a few things that I've kind of just captured in my notes. It's by no means comprehensive, but I wanted to leave us with some provocative thoughts, because tomorrow we're going to come back here and we're going to look at some scenarios. So I'll start out with one of the quotes from earlier today. And when I took notes and I could credit the quotes, I did. So if I quoted you and I don't have your name accredited here, come find me afterwards and I'll update the presentation with your information. Money is a human-created thing. We talked about banking as security, futures anticipation, savings as an accumulation, and ledger as records and measurements. We talked about growth and volatility, time and money, morality and what it has to do with money, extending credit, and the impact of exploding population demographics. We talked about some unusual changes that come from outside the industry and impact us in interesting ways. 9/11, I loved the story of checks in the forest, having to collect the checks when the jet went down, and then also having to shift based on some wild card that occurred completely outside the industry. M-Pesa is another great example of a use that emerged, and I really love to talk about M-Pesa when a lot of people like to do exponential growth and trend growth extrapolation, and we could predict with a lot of timelines that mobile adoption was going to be huge globally. But we could not predict that people would start using mobile phone minutes for secure transactions. So there's importance for us to do predictive analytics and linear extrapolation, but it's also really important for us to be conscious and aware of wildcards and unusual things that are going to occur to our industry that we're not necessarily aware of. We talked about access to the raw materials of money. In the past, it's been gold and silver. What will it be in the future? I know we've talked about a lot of the raw materials in this room. So think about that tonight at dinner as you talk with people. What is the raw materials of money in the future, in the present? Is it centralized or decentralized? Or maybe a combination? There will be new models. We looked at a bunch of new models today. M-Pesa, increasing stability. Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies as a protocol. Complementary local currencies, the idea of a diverse ecosystem. Time banking. I loved Bernard, you asking the question, what is your dream and motivation to engage a local community to enhance their direct, immediate environment? And peer-to-peer. These are all new models that are emerging that we talked about today, but we cannot assume that these are going to be the only new models. One thing is certain is that there will be new things emerging that we will invent and discover, that will be combinations of these, and then there will be completely other things that we can't anticipate. And that's great. Will they be complementary or in conflict? We talked about things being resilient and parallel. One of the things I thought was really fascinating about Bitcoin was the amount of emotion in the room. That emotion was expressed both positively and negatively through curiosity, excitement, challenging discussion, and fear. I didn't really hear much fear in this room. If I distill down this emotion and make it neutral, I think it's the same emotion. Whether you're challenging or exciting or curious, it's opportunities. Putting the fear aside, what can we build? What can we create? Money is value neutral. True or false? We talked about faith, trust, control, and vulnerability. I loved that we talked about vulnerability. Currency is the battleground. I don't know if that's true or not. It's difficult to understand something you don't understand. It's difficult to trust something you don't understand. So what do? How do we understand it? We have to experiment. We have to get skin in the game. Trust is a human thing. But A is vulnerable to B is a computer thing. How do we reconcile our understandings of technology and using computers and what our needs are as humans and soft beings? We're not analog, we're not mechanical, mathematical beings. As much as we can do predictive analytics, people can do unusual things, and they will, that you can't anticipate. Liquidity goes where there's opportunity. Also, entrepreneurship happens where there's opportunity as well. I think that we can see there's a lot of opportunity, a lot of entrepreneurship shows where entrepreneurs see opportunities. Security is not the same as confidentiality. Which game are we playing? Which games do we want to play? How do we want to play the games? Are we going to play along with the main games? Are we going to challenge them or attack them by going inside? Are we even playing the same games? Is it an either-or? Are we looking at these new systems and currencies and opportunities as a way to slash and burn, replace old systems and currencies? Or are we looking to extend, embrace, and include them into a diverse ecosystem? So I want to leave you with a couple questions. What is currency supposed to do? What do people want currency to do? What does your organization or government or entity or whoever you represent want currency to do? What can currency do? And what does currency want to do? And so tomorrow, we can explore all these questions as we continue discussing the future of currency. So thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Heather. Thank you so much.